All right, everybody, how's it going? It's Modern Micro, and we're back with another video. It's your favorite spreadsheet warrior. I honestly don't have much to say. I'm always going to be looking at things through an analytical lens. If you want to hate on it, by all means, but I'm going to show you guys how to really value ETBs. You know, some people may like it for the design, other people might just like it for the packs, other people might like it, for the exclusiveness, whatever the case may be. Even the inserts that are in there, the promo card, all the things that are ancillary to a ETB, a lot of people just get, a little sidetracked on, the main core contents of the ETB that makes it valuable to begin with, right? So, nonetheless, let's get into the video. I want to talk about the baseline that I set here. It's going to be a 1.5x on the ETB to pack ratio. And so this is a calculation I have. I think 1.5 is a perfect sweet spot, not only because it makes sense. You put some sort of multiple on something that's easy to move, something that's the most liquid, the most common to find in the wild, something that has something for everybody, has something for kids. When we talk about to actually play the TCG, you have 9 packs. Honestly, it's more than a booster bundle, more than any ancillary item like a 3-pack blister, 2-pack blister, and it's not to the level of let's say a booster box with 36 packs. So a great middle ground, and it's not as big as a premium collection or any of that nature. So perfect middle ground. I think it's the most liquid, but a lot of people get caught onto a hype train. Maybe you're buying just because something looks good, or maybe that the packs are valuable inside, but you're gonna end up overpaying, or you look for the exclusivity in Pokemon Center. That's gonna be another video, but for now, we just focus on normal ETBs. And so as a result, we're gonna set that 1.5x baseline, and the way I did my calculations was, obviously you set the ETB price, right, and then the dollar amount per pack, which would be 9 packs each for each of these ETBs. These are the 11 most recent sets that are out right now, so they all have 9 packs inside. Made the calculation a little bit easier. Calculate the dollar per pack for the ETB compared to the market pack, right? Just a single pack loose in the market that you can just buy off TCG Player, buy off eBay, or even rip off the shelf. I'm not too sure, but just a single pack in the market. Obviously, that's not going to have any sort of premium whatsoever, so you got to keep that in mind as well. And then ultimately divide each of those into a value ratio, which again lines up between undervalued or overvalued compared to the 1.5x baseline that we have here. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. Obviously, there's some sealed product that looks better than the others, distant rivals, and then there's also some sealed products that are entirely carried by the contents inside, which would be something like an Ascended Heroes or a Phantasmal Flames, that people don't really care how it looks. You just want that top chase card, the Gengar and the Charizard, respectively, for the sets that I named. But nonetheless, we see here, talking about set value, y'all see the thumbnail. This isn't anything crazy to say. When we talk about set value, don't look any further than Ascended Heroes. We have the Mega Gengar 1400, the Pikachu at 900, Dragonite at 900, Charizard Y at 650, the Pink Pikachu at 500, Team Rocket's Mewtwo 500. And you go down from there, and there's still value. There's still cards that are so in demand, right? and you have an ETB that's sitting at $180. I understand that the set is, not old at all. It's maybe been out three months. You have ETBs and booster bundles out and cases for those. Yeah, poster collections, and that's it. That's really it. That's all you're gonna get for the next 3 months. You have two sets now in the past 2 months now coming out, and still needing to be printed. Ascended Heroes having a value ratio of 149, sitting right at the baseline. That's as close as you can get of being undervalued for a set that's $180 that came out two months ago. I mean, I don't know how to really say it, but when the obviously you can talk about how an ETB can be undervalued in terms of the actual packs inside, but when you talk about the actual contents, the actual set, and how valuable it'll be long term, you gotta strike when it's like this, because you don't know when Ascended Heroes will have that run for the sealed product, and you're already priced out. I mean, imagine somebody going to the market and saying, hey, I really love Destined Rivals and let me get an ETB for my favorite Team Rocket set. I just want to have a sealed collection. I like the art, and honestly it is nice art. But then you look at it and it's $220 an ETB when a single pack is $8.50. You're going to be paying a double the premium that you would otherwise for Ascended Heroes for Destined Rivals just because it quote unquote looks good. Yeah, at some point, when you talk about investing, I get it. You're a collector, you could, whatever the case may be. And it's fine if you have one or two of these. But if you want to take the investing side seriously, you don't want to be held back. You have to strike at times like this. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Ascended Heroes, I think this is a perfect time to strike. I would be even greedier at the 160, 150 level, because ultimately this set is not gonna fall. There's too many things to be pushed out. You don't have another print facility coming out soon. And that's just the two comparisons that I'm talking about here in this video off the rip, just because of the thumbnail that I made. But if you want to talk about real value, again, White Flare Black Bolt. I just talked about this set yesterday, about how strong the set is from top to bottom. You have 3 pages of over $20 cards. You're able to buy an ETB at a value ratio of 1.37, 1.31. The most undervalued modern ETBs out there. If you want to buy something that not only the set has value, not only is the sealed product desired because it's just the Gen 5 stars in their legacy and just iconic poses, but you also want something that is a good buy and has it hasn't ran yet, and maybe it has, right? We've seen the past 3-6 months these sets have ran, but in comparison to the market, still undervalued. That's another thing that you could be blinded by. Let's look at Pokemon Black Bolt. Let's just look at Black Bolt for example. Shop booster boxes. You wouldn't know, looking back 3 months ago, when this set was $90. when this set, $90, even below $90, 3 months ago, that it would run 65%. Again, you wouldn't know in 3 months that a box that has ran 65% would be one of the most undervalued sets out right now. Is that not insane to say? When you talk about a stock in the stock market, you look at Micron, you look at Rocket Lab, you look at Nvidia, you look at SanDisk, you look at SK Hynix, any company that's gonna run 60%, 65% in 3 months You are scared to death to buy that because you know it's made its run. You know that you're chasing. But here, you look around and you're like, wow, I'm early. You're early. You're early to something that's ran 65%. And it's because things like this, things like an Ascended Heroes, when you're looking at this ETB and it came out 2 months ago, up 30% in 3 months, up 22% in 1 month. You know, from the lows of $108, this thing didn't even fall below $100 because everything's gonna hold its value. Everything has held its value, and so don't be scared. You know, allocate some money into some positions that you know are really unique. When we talk about Destined Rivals and we're looking at the sealed product that's super expensive, this booster box is pushing $700. The Pokemon Center ETB is pushing $560. Destined Rivals ETB, I have it at $220 because you can only find boxes for $225 on TCG Player. But let's just say for this sake, $200 in ETB. Still, you're talking about a set that has packs sitting at $8, and the set is actually good. So what does that mean? Where's your alpha there? Well, and I'm sorry, this is an ETB video. But again, I just really want to emphasize there's value in every single corner that you look in the market. You just have to find it, right? If you're looking at the Destined Rivals, every single sealed product is just gone, has shot up in price. But then you look at the single packs and they're $8. What does that mean? Well, that means either the single packs are gonna run or the sealed product is gonna fall down. Well, I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. Destined Rivals, it was a surprise. It was $400 a booster box. Then it was a surprise. It was $500. It was a surprise. It went to $600. Now pushing $700. It's not surprising anymore. I'm sorry, but it's not. Especially when Phantasmal Flames pushing $500 a booster box as well. Not surprising. This is your alpha right here. When you talk about a set that you know has only moved 12% in the past year since release, barely above you know the pre-release highs, right? This is a pre-release highs, and we're talking about something that you know is related to the packs per price in terms of just the singles, and it's a sealed product, right? So what's gonna happen? Well, you're likely gonna see a bump in the sealed, and maybe you're gonna see more people allocating money towards a Destined Rivals booster bundle, or more people allocating money towards a booster pack. And obviously that doesn't really make sense. Nobody's going to go out of their way to buy a bunch of packs. So what is that going to do? That's going to push all the other items higher, right? If a single Destined Rivals pack is going to go up to $10, you don't think the booster box is going to go to $800? Going to go to $900? I mean, the insanity is crazy in certain fields, in certain corners, in certain pockets of the market. But even in those corners, under the same set name, you have alpha. And that's the whole point, is finding alpha in this market. Because everything looks expensive. Everything is expensive. But compared to everything else, well, there's opportunities. Prismatic Evolutions, going out of print at the end of the year. Let me say that one more time. Prismatic Evolutions going out of print at the end of this year. And we're talking about an ETB that's sitting at $173. The SPC that's sitting below $300. Having a value ratio of 1.33. What if, once this goes out of print, it gets the Destined Rivals treatment, it gets the Evolving Skies treatment, and it just, anything sealed, anything that has to do with Prismatic Evolutions shoots up in price? What's going to happen? You're going to get a double in the price per pack in the market. You're going to have a $28 Prismatic Evolutions pack. You don't think a ETB or a booster bundle or anything of that nature is gonna follow suit. I made a video talking about prismatic evolutions and the opportunities that you have just within that market, that set as a whole, and there's alpha there. The ETBs before in the past were not any sort of alpha, but you have real alpha now with the SPCs, because that is a collector's item. The booster bundle sitting at $90. I feel like that's a decent grab. Sitting at around $15 per pack. That's not bad at all. And then you have the where are they at? The surprise box plus bundle. Yeah, he has a surprise box and bundle, 10 packs for $153, sitting at $15 per pack. It's gonna be hard to get off, hard to find. I understand that part, that side of these, but I mean it's $15 per pack. For prismatic evolutions, the demand it's had. I mean, I know just 6 months ago it was $8 per pack everywhere you look, but again, things change quick, and when there's an expiration date coming up, you want to jump on it. I mean, to say that prismatic evolutions is undervalued is insane, because just last year, just the year before that, people were saying, wow, prismatic evolutions, the most desired set. It has a floor of $100, has an ETB. There's no way this set just came out. This set should be 70, 80 bucks at that, and yet the prices have still just stayed solid, and it's just a matter of time. And these aren't being printed anymore. And you see these packs go from $15 to $30, from $30 to $35. My price target of $45 which is where Evolving Skies is right now. I'm gonna look back and say, hey, I had a chance to buy an ETB at $173. But look, nonetheless, do your own research. This isn't financial advice, but if you're looking for any sort of opportunities in a market where it seems like there isn't, right? This is opportunity, and there's value in opportunity. It's not just, digging through dirt. I didn't even mention Perfect Order once. I didn't mention Journey Together. I didn't mention Surging Sparks. I didn't mention Mega Base, both Lucario and Gardevoir. Yeah, I didn't mention them, and they don't need to be mentioned, because when you invest, you look for something that's scarce. When you look for something that's scarce, you look for something that's in demand. What is in demand? Prismatic Evolutions, Ascended Heroes, Distant Rivals, Phantasmal Flames, right? Black Bolt White Flare for the specific people who want it. People like me who grew up with Gen 5. So you have that philosophy going on, and you want to find alpha within it. Here you are. This is your video. Don't look any further than Mr. Spreadsheet here, Modern Micro. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me, watching along. I know this market is irrational. Same with the stock market. I'll be honest. You see a lot of AI plays and just the AI build out infrastructure, energy. I will make a video about that pretty soon coming up, and seeing when financials and software, they're gonna have their time. But for this video specifically, talking about Pokemon, even in a raging bull market, you have value. One of a kind, man. One of a kind. Pokemon investing is amazing. You guys have a great rest of your day. It's been Modern Micro. I'm out.